North Carolina.
You could see the way it is spreading along here.
Spring is here, and that means ticks and mosquitoes aren't far behind.
Ticks oftentimes will start coming whenever the weather gets warm.
Meet the man who went searching for beach rocks and ended up stuck up to his waist in sand.
I'm not getting myself out of here. I'm going to call 911 now.
And the heartwarming story of a conservation comeback in Wisconsin.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Emma Withrow. There's another threat of severe weather today, this time in the northern plains. The Storm Prediction Center issued a 3 out of 5 risk for the area you see in orange right there on your screen. That's an update from last night and includes Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, and parts of western Iowa. A slightly lower threat extends into the yellow region, includes Des Moines and Cedar Rapids as well. Storms late this afternoon and into the evening could produce very large hail and localized damaging winds. And this storm is just a precursor to more severe weather we're going to see tomorrow and that goes through Easter Sunday. Meteorologist Christian Bridges shows us what exactly we can expect.
Let's take a look at the setup in the atmosphere. We've got a powerful storm system that will move out of the Rockies and into the Great Plains, setting the stage for the outbreak. We've got strong upper level winds coming out of the south and warm, moist air, and that will help to bring a heightened risk of severe weather as this storm system gradually pushes to the east. You can see those strong winds there. That will set the stage for those severe threats. Now, the Storm Prediction Center, which is based out of Oklahoma, ranks the likelihood of severe weather on a scale from 1 to 5, with a level 1 risk, meaning that there's a low chance that there may be an isolated severe storm or two, with the level 5 risk, meaning that a severe weather outbreak is incredibly likely. Now, looking at the risk areas through the rest of this week and into the weekend, we see that starting out on Thursday, we've got a level 2 risk over Iowa. That will shift eastward from Michigan all the way down to Texas as we get into Friday, and it will continue to push to the east and south for Saturday and for Sunday as well. So every day through Sunday has at least some risk of severe weather somewhere in the country.
Meantime, there's extreme fire danger today in the Southwest. Red flag warnings stretch across 6 states, impacting more than 8.5 million people. Strong winds and low humidity are creating these widespread critical fire weather conditions. And then back east, wildfires outside of Asheville, North Carolina are still burning. Together, they've burned more than 1,000 acres and are 0% contained. Mark Liverman takes us to the front lines there.
The wildfire's bright orange flames fueled along this forest ridge. Down below, firefighters keeping a close watch. What are you guys kind of watching for, though, as we watch this continue to burn?
They're going to be watching for really hot spots and things potentially jumping over the line so that they can jump on that really quick and put it out before it grows.
U.S. Forest Service Public Information Officer Dana Hody says that's exactly what happened earlier Wednesday. But these guys were ready.
Well, earlier there was a really hot spot that was coming out. They call it a finger, where it comes out and branches out a little bit. And so they had people come and help mediate that.
Well, I want to give you a look at this side of the fire along this ridge here, because you could see the way it is spreading along here. Most of this is being contained by what we're seeing out along this ridge on its own. The landslide area there helping to prevent it from spreading as well. They're using other things as barriers as well. Things like roads that we're seeing in this direction. They say that helps prevent the fire from spreading to the other side. Just different things that they're using to their advantage as they work to get this under control. But crews here are faced with some disadvantages too.
The weather, it's warm and it's dry. The leaves are starting to bloom, and so that's creating a little bit more fuel.
The fire also fueled from downed debris after Hurricane Helene, all of it directly impacting the sheer growth and intensity of the Bee Rock Creek fire.
The Atlantic hurricane season doesn't start until June 1st, but cyclone season's well underway in the South Pacific. Tropical Cyclone Errol is making waves off Australia's northern coast. Meteorologist Noah Hawk tells us more about the storm and the difference between cyclones and hurricanes.
In particular has become quite a destructive one at Category 5. Thankfully, at the moment, has not made landfall, but you're going to notice a couple different things about this in comparison to our hurricanes here in the northern hemisphere. First off, it's going to be spinning in a clockwise formation, and this is all thanks to the Coriolis force, and that force has come about because of the spin of the Earth. At the equator, it's going to spin faster than the Earth does at the poles, and because of that, our storms get deflected. And so in the northern hemisphere, they're going to be deflected in a counterclockwise direction, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they're going to be deflected in a clockwise motion. You'll also notice that just a few frames ago, this had a very well-defined eye, which is indicative of a very strong cyclone. Right now, sitting at a Category 5 at max winds of 160 miles an hour. Now, in terms of categorization, the cyclones are going to fall under the same 5 levels, but the parameters in which they fall under are going to be a little bit different in terms of those wind speeds. So as we bump it all the way up to a Category 5, like Cyclone Errol, we're going to notice that you only need to reach winds of 124 miles an hour. And for context, for hurricanes, a Category 5 needs to be at least 157 miles an hour. Their hurricane season is also opposite of ours. It started November 1st of last year and ends April 30th.
EF5 tornadoes are relatively rare. The last one tore through Moore, Oklahoma in May of 2013. These twisters pack winds in excess of 200 miles per hour, creating catastrophic damage. Meteorologist Riley Blackwell tells us about one such tornado that many people have forgotten.
We had another significant tornado outbreak across much of the Deep South. Although in Alabama, we did have a few tornadoes, mainly F0 to F1 in parts of Lamar, Walker, Coleman, Blount, and Etowah counties. A few trees blown down, some houses damaged. The most significant portions of the outbreak occurred in parts of Tennessee. So we actually had an F5 tornado impact the extreme northern portions of Lawrence County. But believe it or not, in this F5 tornado, there were 0 recorded fatalities. However, there were F4s in parts of Wayne County and Giles County that did cause some fatalities, but these were 3 distinct tornadoes. But this one is often called the forgotten F5 of what happened up in Nashville. 3 different tornadoes impacted downtown Nashville. The most significant one being an F3. It struck downtown Nashville, damaging at least 300 homes. But once again, fortunately, no fatalities. But it does kind of help dispel the myth that tornadoes do not strike downtown areas. Back to you.
So as temperatures warm up across the country, most of us are going to start to see more bugs like ticks and mosquitoes. Meteorologist Audrey Lee takes a closer look at when these pests decide to emerge.
Recent sunny days have called many outside, whether you're cleaning your yard or just soaking in the sunshine. One of the best parts of early spring, no bugs yet. So when can we expect to see the buzzing, biting pests show up?
Ticks oftentimes will start coming whenever the weather gets warm. Mosquitoes and most other animals, they really do not want to get frozen, so they tend to wait until around the average date of our last frost.
You may not see the ticks and mosquitoes now, but as the weather continues to warm in the coming weeks, they'll start to emerge.
A really big date for insects is coming up soon, which is the average date that the trees, the deciduous trees, start to leaf out. So probably in the next 10 days or 2 weeks, we'll see that date coming, and that's a big date for the insects.
When that happens, you'll want to reach for your bug spray, especially if you spend time in wooded areas or near water.
It's going to be at least mid-May until we really have to start worrying about mosquitoes. After that, it matters a lot how wet it is.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is spewing lava again this morning. This is the 18th time lava is flowing there since the latest eruption that happened back in December. The U.S. Geological Survey says it began at 10 p.m. last night, and so far the lava is staying inside Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. This means no homes are currently at risk. Visitors to the park and nearby residents might be exposed to some small fragments of volcanic glass, though. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, La Nina has ended. We'll show you what that could mean for the upcoming hurricane season. And next week, it's Earth Day. We'll tell you about the history of the annual event right after the break.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. We have a pretty nice looking stretch of weather on the way in the Northeast in the coming days. Today starts off cool in the 30s, but afternoon temperatures, they're back in the 50s, which is about where we should be for this time of year. There will be a stiff northwest wind. Now, as we go into Friday, we'll start with a lot of sun, but notice some clouds and even some showers off to the west. That's a warm front. These clouds will be on the increase. A few spots may see some showers by evening. That warm front should be north of us in the Northeast on Saturday, allowing for a warm up in the 70s. Enjoy.
I'm meteorologist Justin Chambers tracking our forecast here for your Thursday morning. It's going to be cold for most of us across the mid-Atlantic. We're seeing some frost advisories posted, but plenty of sunshine as we head toward Thursday afternoon and a lot less wind. That'll be the big difference maker. And then the warmer temperatures really start streaming in with the warm front coming in on Friday. But high temps on Thursday, mainly in the low to mid 60s. And then we'll see into early Friday morning milder conditions before we warm up on Friday afternoon.
I'm meteorologist Vetus Reed. Here's a look at your southeast forecast highs for the day. Tupelo, Mississippi at 84 degrees, 79 in Atlanta. Raleigh, 71 degrees. Jacksonville, 81. Charleston right now, 76 degrees for your high and 88 in Tampa. Looking at plenty of sunshine, high pressure over the southeastern half of the country. We do have a little bit of high thin clouds over the midsection of the country, but it looks like we're relatively dry for the next few days. Later through the weekend, we'll have our next chance for some spotty showers popping up over parts of the area.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
A search for pretty rocks on the beach took an unexpected turn for a Michigan man. He ended up stuck waist deep in sand and had to call 911 to rescue him. Mark Shawlett has his story.
This is not anything that in recent history we can remember responding to here.
Leland Township firefighters are prepared to handle just about any call that comes in for help. Still, some are a little unexpected.
Our first arriving truck responded from the Leland station and arrived on scene in about 2.5 minutes. Found a patient stuck up to their waist in very deep, loose sand.
Mitchell O'Brien was that patient, out for a rock hunting adventure, walking through a couple of inches of water when he hit an extremely soft spot in the sand.
It was very quick. I had time to turn around and get my cell phone out of my pocket. That was pretty much it.
I thought we needed help instantly, but he was very good at reassuring that he would get out of there and that he was okay.
But after 15 minutes, Mitchell wasn't any more free.
The sand was just getting put back almost faster than I could get it out of the way. I was finally like, I'm not getting myself out of here. I'm going to call 911 now.
He did, and so did Bree.
3 guys, I believe, in front of Mitch, and one guy jumped around back of him and just started scooping sand as quickly as possible, and you could see him starting to go down a bit as well. And it was literally just all of the guys in action in seconds and a couple good yanks, and he got out of there.
We always appreciate knowing that we were able to make a difference that day.
Cold, wet, but uninjured. And with a bit of advice of the lesson learned.
Just be careful. Go out there, enjoy it. Look for your pretty blue stones like I did, but just be careful.
Folks are also doing some digging in Charleston, South Carolina. Students there have been excavating a historic home in the city. The effort's unraveling some historical mysteries, but as Jason Ty shows us, urban archaeology does come with some challenges.
It's tough work digging deep.
Urban archaeology is a whole nother world compared to like rural archaeology.
Uncovering small clues in a large historical space.
Here you get tiny lenses of occupations. You might get from the 1740s fire, like a burned element, it's going to be really small.
Some of the smaller but significant finds include pottery, glass, metal, and even coal. The ceramics found are among the oldest in North America, similar to the finds made at Virginia's Jamestown colony.
Obviously, like with the context, we're finding all these different artifacts and we're putting them together to try and figure out, like, you know, what all these things mean.
They're searching through the garden of Charleston's Hayward, Washington house.
This property alone is pretty special, especially for this having been the gunsmith for the colony's property. There's some pretty interesting stuff going on here.
The teamwork is being done by archaeologists with the Charleston Museum, alongside students from the College of Charleston.
Having worked on some sites that got really modified by urban landscapes, I'm kind of impressed, and honestly it just tells me what more we could find in other folks' yards.
One major concern of these history detectives, losing out on the chance to learn more from the various sites citywide.
We could do something in a matter of 2 or 3 days and be able to document that 1680s or that early Charleston.
Many call it a conservation comeback. Eric Peterson takes us to Wisconsin, where a new bald eagle nest has been found at a local preserve.
We're really excited to have a brand new bald eagle nest here at Barkhausen. We've had plenty of eagle nests in the area, but it's been a while since we found one on the property.
Barkhausen Waterfowl Preserve assistant naturalist Logan Lassay says they found signs of construction during a wintertime trip around the 1,000-acre park. And on Tuesday morning,
we're seeing everything we need to see to say that they're incubating. When you're looking at the nest, you can see just the top of one head of an eagle. So they're hunkered in there pretty tight, which means that they're laying on some eggs in there. With this being a newer nest, it's a little bit smaller. So it's about 2 or 3 feet deep and about 4 or 5 feet wide. And that's just a brand new constructed nest. Now, if these adults are successful, they'll return to this nest year after year, and every year they come back, they'll spruce it up and add more branches.
Lassay also coordinates the Eagle Nest Watch program for Brown, Oconto, and Shawano counties. He says there are many more nests in the area.
We have 3 nests pretty close to the nature center here that are part of the program, but overall we have about 20 nests between the 3 counties we oversee.
What do you think?
Eagles are doing great. People are loving to see them, and we hope that they can just keep on being successful.
Last week, NOAA declared the western pattern known as La Nina has ended. So that puts us at a neutral pattern with neither El Nino or La Nina in effect. Meteorologist Alex Garcia explains how this could impact the upcoming hurricane season.
Well, hurricane season is just around the corner. And you know, hurricane forecasters are already looking at what's going on in the Pacific Ocean, because that's important. We have something called ENSO, which is La Nina or El Nino going on out there. It usually goes back and forth. Sometimes, though, it gets stuck in the middle, and that stuck in the middle is called the neutral zone. And that's where we are now. We had an El Nino, it kind of moved over to La Nina. That didn't last. We're now in the neutral zone. So what does that mean for hurricanes? Well, first of all, when we have El Nino, there's a lot more wind shear in the main development region. So that tends to cut the top off these hurricanes. When we have La Nina, there's no wind shear, and it really lets the hurricanes blow up and develop really quickly. How about when we're in the neutral zone? Well, it could go either way at that point. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, what we're looking at in hurricane forecasters, they're already predicting this is going to be a little bit of an active season. So they're thinking that the neutral zone is really not going to have that much of an impact on the season at all. What it will do, though, is kind of open the door to what's going on. And usually the hot spots that get started first, it's the Gulf of Mexico. And right now, the Gulf is really heating up. It's above normal in a lot of spots now. So it's priming itself for the hurricane season. So we've got to keep an eye on the Gulf as we get into the month of June.
So we're less than a week away from Earth Day, and so to learn more about the historic importance of this annual event, we're going to turn to meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell with more.
April is time for Earth Day, and it's going to happen as it does every year on April 22nd, this year, 2025. We have been celebrating Earth Day on April 22nd since 1970. Of course, Earth Day is for support of environmental protection and to help make everybody, especially children, aware of things we need to do to keep our planet nice and healthy and clean. The theme this year for 2025 is called Our Power, Our Planet, and all of the events around that will be about clean, renewable energy and how to ensure that that happens and is maintained by future generations. For the National Weather Desk, I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell.
It's time now for a short break. We're going to leave you with some views from above the Blue Ridge Mountains in Shenandoah National Park.
Well, a very good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Mike. We've got a few showers and storms across the Midwest for the day today. Notice they fire up to the north a little bit more as we head into later this evening. So if you live in the middle part of the Midwest, keep the rain gear handy today. As we continue on into the day tomorrow, that still kind of sticks around, but does shift a little bit more to the east. And as we continue on into your Saturday, the showers and storms ramp up, especially across the southern half of the Midwest.
Well, good Thursday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Chris Suchan. Look at our forecast today across the region, starting off with mild, humid 60s for most, even around 70 to the Gulf Coast. We'll see patchy clouds across Texas, a little windy through Oklahoma, sunshine Little Rock. Now Friday, we'll see developing Friday evening into Friday night a severe storm risk. Otherwise, temperatures will be warm and humid, 70s and 80s across the region.
Good Thursday morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Stella Sun. We've got a storm system brewing across the Mountain West. That's going to shake out some showers as well as bring some snow in the high terrain. Meanwhile, high pressure across the coastlines on the West Coast will bring dry conditions towards the Pacific Northwest. Temperatures well above normal, 66 in Seattle, 71 in Portland, 60s from San Francisco down to San Diego, in the low 80s for Phoenix and Albuquerque, and temperatures hovering in the upper 30s across Jackson, Wyoming. That's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Easter's this Sunday, and meteorologist David Boyd posted some facts about the holiday on X. Take a look.
This Sunday is Easter, and it's the latest in the calendar year since 2019 and won't be later in the year until 2030 when it will be on April 21st. Easter can fall anywhere between March 22nd and April 25th because of the inherent misalignment between the lunar and solar calendars. The rule is the first Sunday after the first full moon on or after the first day of spring. Orthodox Christian Easter also falls on April 20th this year. The two Easters last coincided in 2017, and it will happen next in 2028. Orthodox Christian Easter is calculated using similar rules, but as after Passover, which means it is often celebrated later. Now, when looking at the last 500 Easters and the next 500 Easters, the most common date is April 16th at 45 times. The least common date is March 24th, occurring only 5 times. For the National Weather Desk, I'm meteorologist David Boyd.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Emma Withrow. Make it a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.